Hello.
I am dead.
I am also dead.
I am Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
I am Iron Penis. So people might want to know we are missing a fourth.
I think people should know we're missing a lot of things tonight.
I'm missing my fucking pie.
I'm sorry, Chesh. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
All I wanted was a pie. How
All
hard
I
is
wanted
it?
was a Pepsi.
You sent me condiments. You sent me too much when it comes to condiments, and you didn't send me my pie. I now have 4 sachets of sauce and no fucking pie. What am I gonna do with the sauce?
You want me to go to your schools, and you want me to go to your institutions, and how could you say I'm crazy? Institutionalized.
And why do you keep calling me fucking Warren? My name's not fucking Warren.
All right, well, before we get too deep into this, thank you very much, everyone who's joined us so far tonight. We are MTGLexicon and the
We are
Farmers.
MTGLexicon, actually.
There you go. I was hoping Chesh was just gonna say the
honestly,
crunch
like,
part.
We're fucking. This is no longer Thunder from Down Under, the worst name of all time for a session involving an Australian outfit.
You're wrong. It's the best name, but
okay.
Yeah, there's irony in it.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. I get it, but the joke is, it's a dead horse. It's beyond a dead horse.
Well, technically, Thunder should be spelt with an AH at the end and not an ER. But I'm not one to pick.
Well,
Thunder. Lightning!
I
can come out of my fingertips and my dicky tip.
but Lexicon.
That's why they call me Sparkles.
Jeez, the thunder. Now I get it. It's a thing. And I like how we didn't announce this thing at all, did we? Or
I mean, who knows what happens these days?
Yeah,
but before we get too distracted, thank you very much, everyone, for watching us. We're gonna go left to right. We're gonna introduce ourselves, and then we're gonna get started on the night of God knows what.
Yeah. Man. Thanks for not changing the title too at the bottom there. It's Lexicrunch. So what do you? Who's Mr. Chips?
No, it's chocolate.
So who's that handsome gentleman on the far left of the screen?
Oh, we're starting with me. Am I dappering first?
Yes.
G'day, wankers. I'm Australian. I didn't get my meat pie, so I'm a little bit feisty and angry. My name is Chesh from Commander Crunch. You can find our podcast at cmdrcrunch.fireside.fm. Oh, I was a little bit New Zealand at the end there, sorry. FM.
What's up, everybody? My name's Brandon, aka the producer, host at MTG Lexicon. You know our stuff and things. This is late night, but we're gonna go ahead and pass it on to another host.
Hey, I'm the far right picture, the Sele monolith. Hey, it'd be cool if you can, Brandon, just so people know who's talking. Is there a way to put our Discord images on there so it could highlight whenever we talk? Because this is strictly a podcast episode at this point. You know what I mean? You got to have some kind of visual element so people can keep up. I guess. I don't know. If you can't do that, then that's fine. But I just think it would be beneficial to the viewing public if you did that.
Negatory, not on the potato, but we can do that in the future.
Okay, all right. I'm just just throwing ideas out there.
I like the idea. Unfortunately, on the potato, I cannot do it.
Oh, bummer. All right. Well, hello everybody. I mean, I guess if you're watching, you know at least one person in this debacle of
yeah, it's me.
Yeah, and that's Chesh over there. Jeez, what? Fucking Brandon is in LA right now, so our whole setup is just garbage, and I'm gonna blame Brandon for every fault that we have throughout the night, because that's what we do here. We don't take accountability for our own involvement or actions. We just pass the buck on to other people, as good Americans do.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're not American unless you pass the buck to somebody who's entirely not responsible.
Whoops.
Let's be real here. Like, Brandon, you did fuck everything up by being in LA.
I know. Who would have guessed it? Taking vacation and going to another city to go visit family.
Who would have guessed it? You fucking monster.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, appreciating family and this time of this tumultuous time of uncertainty and death and poverty and displacement. How dare you go see family members and abandon your loyal viewing community? I will begrudge you. I will hold this grudge to my grave for this episode. I'm just telling you this right now.
Oh, that's like the nicest thing you've said.
Among other things, why the fuck did you not send Chesh his meat pie when he ordered it?
Oh, let's not get started on things that Brandon didn't send me.
Uh-oh.
Jump.
Because some motherfucker still owes me a fucking token.
Do we owe tokens for Australia? Are we in debt?
I believe so.
He sure does. Why does he keep disconnecting and reconnecting?
I'm just trying to fix the audio.
Oh, okay.
But you can keep going. Yeah, okay, so...
But now I'm putting another piece of fucking chocolate in my mouth because I don't have my fucking pie.
Yeah, I got some chocolate here, too. It's delicious.
Well, I'm eating caramello.
Oh!
Like liquid caramel.
Wait. So you got yeah. I'm familiar with that. So you got caramello, some chips, and a meat pie, and that's it. And they didn't send you the most important part of that meal.
Well, also an icebreak iced coffee. Which is amazing.
I'm sure it is, but at the same time, that's like again for anyone who's listening who doesn't know what a meat pie is. That's like if you're in America, that's like if you were to order a milkshake and order of French fries and a burger, and they didn't send you the burger with that order. That's correct. That's a very central part of your order. That's like the main thing that you wanted, and you didn't.
I would actually go as far to say that if you went somewhere and you decided to get a Philly fucking cheesesteak, right?
Yeah.
And you went, hey, can I have an order of onion rings, Philly cheesesteak in a 6, and can I also grab a cup of Coke, right? And they went, no worries, buddy. And they brought out your onion rings, and you went, yes, fucking onion rings rock. And they put the Coke in front of you, and you were like, Coke's all right. I mean, it doesn't have rum, but, you know, it'll get me through the delicious Philly cheesesteak. And then they walk away. And you're left there going, what the fuck just happened? Where's my fucking Philly cheesesteak?
And they're like, Sorry, buddy. That's your order.
Add in the fact that you've had a slightly shitty day. Add in the fact that now you are hangry. You're not hungry, you're hangry. You're hungry and angry because all you fucking wanted was that delicious meaty treat in the middle of everything else. You didn't care about the chocolate. You didn't care about the chips. The drink is fine. You just really wanted that meaty fucking savory treat. And it's the one fucking thing they robbed you of. And the problem is that it's the centerpiece to what I bought, right? What I bought was a bundle thing. And the centerpiece is a meat pie because it is a substantial part of the snacky meal. Without the snacky meal centerpiece, it's not even a snacky meal. It's just a collection of bad shit that is bad for you. That you know if you eat all of, you will feel even worse because you needed that meat pie as the starting point.
The buffer,
because you have the meat pie and then you snack on the chocolate and you leave the chips for when you watch a movie later. That's how it works. I'm not a fucking savage. I'm Australian. And not having my meat pie is fucked.
Yeah, that's pretty upsetting. I'm sorry you did not get your meat pie.
I'm still angry about it. I feel like such a Karen because I'm like, where's my meat pie? But really, I'm actually justified in being pissed off about not having my meat pie because I paid for it. Why isn't it here? The worst insult is the fact that not only did they forget the meat pie, they put the bag the meat pie should be into the order.
Oh, you left that part out.
With 4 sachets, and I'm going to send this to Brandon so that maybe he can pop it up on the stream so people can see what the fuck I'm talking about. With 4 sachets of sauce. 4. 2 is fine. 4 is fucking overkill. Here we go. I'm going to put it in sweaty balls.
Okay. Take a look.
Look at that! Fuck!
Wow. That's hilarious, actually.
Can you pop that up on screen?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Because, and just in case people want to know, here in our country, when you order a one-person meat pie, not a family meat pie, generally speaking, it's already wrapped in plastic because they just heat it in the plastic in an oven. Like, totally safe, you know. It's not like full furnace oven, it's a heating oven. And then when it's done, they chuck it in a paper bag so it's easy to carry because the plastic's too hot to touch. It's not melting or anything, don't worry. It's still crisp and fine. Because once you open that packet, then the heat's obviously going to come out. So they don't want to do that and like have your pie cool down. So they chuck it into a paper bag. That's on its side, but that's fine. They chuck it into a paper bag with your sauces, right? So that means that if the sauces were refrigerated for whatever reason, which they shouldn't be because they're all like proper sealed and shit, that they will get a bit of heat from that meat pie and they'll be warm-ish, right? So they'll be like not terribly cold on your teeth, which is great. They put 4 sachets of this into the pie bag, which is already overkill, but without the fucking pie. Now, if you have enough insight to go paper bag, sauces into the paper bag, why are your sauces going in first? Your pie goes in first. The sauces go on top, right? So that you can take the sauces out first, and then you can rip open the pie inside the bag and stop the pie crust from going anywhere. So if people don't understand what a quote-unquote pie is, think of a cottage pie, but think of a cottage pie with an amount of, what's the word I'm looking for? Pastry underneath and on top, right? That's sealed. It seals in everything. It's one of the most delicious things. If you ever have a chance to have a proper steak meat pie, and I mean a chunky steak meat pie, absolutely do it because it has chunks of steak in a savory gravy, sometimes with peas, although I don't condone the pea thing because I think that's kind of gross, but sealed into a little package, basically, so that when you bite into the pie, if it's not lava hot, you get like a full aroma, and I'm actually drooling thinking about it. You get a full aroma of the meat and the gravy, and it steams, and you're just like, oh, hot, 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 as you like, fanning your mouth because it's just that little bit too hot regardless. And it's a whole thing because the pastry is kind of like bread, and it doesn't soak, but it offsets the taste of the gravy. So the gravy is, generally speaking, like nice and salty, and then the pastry is a little bit buttery, but not like hugely horribly buttery or anything like that. It's usually like very subtle, and it counteracts that kind of savory saltiness. And then once you get a nice chunk of meat, you're literally putting a chunk of slow roasted beef in your mouth and just going, this is the most amazing present inside a wrapping that I can eat that I've ever had outside of edible undies.
Jesus. That was an amazing description.
Pies are great.
But I can't get over the fact that I thought Australia was one of those places that referred to French fries as chips.
Yeah.
And you actually said chips, and do you call chips and French fries French fries, or okay?
No.
So you call chips crisps?
No.
No.
Do I sound like I'm from the UK?
No, I'm just saying. I thought Australia. No, I thought it was.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Subtle difference, and I'll explain.
Oh, I do explain.
So this,
for
people at home, is a bag of chips.
Okay.
Okay. However, if I'm getting a burger, I am getting a burger with a side of hot chips.
Hot chips. Okay.
Which you would call fries. There's chips and there's hot chips. Sometimes we do call them fries, but that's generally when we go to some sort of Americanized outlet. Yeah. Because they'll call them like a side of fries instead of a side of chips or hot chips.
Gotcha.
Some places still call them chips, which is fucking bizarre. I don't want chips with my burger. What are you talking about? Hot chips, however, fuck yeah. Chuck some chicken salt on there. I know you guys don't know what that is.
Chicken salt? It may be called something else here.
No, it's chicken salt.
Okay.
All right, so chicken salt is not made of chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken salt is actually a mix of paprika and other Indian and Asian herbs to almost mimic the taste of quote-unquote chicken. So if you've ever had chicken chips, a bag of chips that is flavored to be chicken, generally speaking, it's kind of in that vein. That's the kind of taste.
Chicken in a biscuit, have you ever had that?
I have. Very similar. Chicken in a biscuit's probably a little bit more full-on flavor-wise. But chicken salt is, generally speaking, like probably a step down from that flavor-wise. But it's just the most delicious thing you can put on chips.
Yeah, nice. Well,
I'm sorry, fries. I think the other problem with America is a lot of the American fries are just like, the reason they're called fries is because they are quick fry, deep fry. Whereas the reason that we have chips is because our chips are actually a lot thicker than a fry. Mm-hmm. So our chips are basically like rough cut spuds, potatoes. We rough cut our shit, so it's bigger. So you're actually getting a proper hot chip and not something that you guys would call a fry. It's like when you go to McDonald's and like they have fries and the fries are thin.
Yeah.
Well, ours aren't thin cut at all.
Well,
McDonald's are.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the McDonald's are, but generally speaking, hot chips here are nice and thick.
Yeah,
probably about like 2 to 3 times the size.
Yeah, we have fries like that over here all over the place. Either that's just how they serve them, or they call them steak fries.
Right, steak
the
fries.
Thicker
Yeah.
ones we call steak fries for the most part.
Yeah.
Whereas here, well, I've seen those cuts being called like steak chips, but they're even bigger than what you would consider a steak fry, because it's basically like a big. It's basically a potato wedge, yeah. Which we also do have wedges. Don't worry. My favorite is the fact that I do not like and do not drink beer, but I absolutely cannot go past a good beer battered wedge.
Oh yeah, well that's a whole different, like when you batter something in beer and fry it. That's a whole other planet. Like and first of all, when I do come to Australia, because I will, it's inevitable. I am inevitable.
I'm gonna take you out, and we're gonna have some food, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" And it's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. But I mean, I'm a firm believer in the misquoted the thing that Benjamin Franklin never actually said.
I thought you were going to go with, "That's not a knife. This is a knife."
No, I'm a firm believer in and it's a misquote by Benjamin Franklin. People attribute this quote to Benjamin Franklin, even though he never said it. I don't know why. He says something. He was talking about wine in this context.
Was it, "Hey, don't get drunk and peg me, bro"?
No, it was so Charlie Bamforth, who is a professor at a brewing institute, wrote a book called "Beer is Proof That God Loves Us," and quote Charlie Bamforth, because Benjamin Franklin never actually said that. And the whole book, like the preface, is about that quote and how Benjamin Franklin never fucking said that. Everyone thinks Benjamin Franklin said that. But beer is proof that God loves us, and there is a beer for everybody. If you are a person who does not like beer and who hates beer, I don't like beer, I tried a whole bunch and I don't like them, trust me, there is a beer out there for you. And what I'm thinking for Chesh, since you do appreciate cider, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
You would love a lambic. And what a lambic is a fruit beer. I love lambics. It's not a sour beer because they can be tart sometimes if they're brewed to be tart, but a lambic tastes almost identical to a cider. It's a little bit more hearty in the profile, but it still has the sweetness, it has none of the bitterness, and it has all of the benefits of drinking an alcoholic beverage. I guarantee you, if I find a solid lambic and I bring it out there, you will enjoy yourself, and you can say that you are a beer lover.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay, all right. I'll take that. I'll take that as a challenge. I'm gonna prove to you that I can find a beer that Chesh loves.
All right. So one of the things we were mentioning is that Sam obviously is not here tonight. Sam is, I believe, he is judging a surfing competition or something or other. I that's all I got. I don't know.
Does Sam surf himself?
I thought you said he was participating in a surfing competition, like as a surfer.
No, I'm pretty sure he said he was judging it, didn't he?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I thought that's what you said.
That's definitely not what I said.
Okay, then I misheard.
You're damn right you did. You're incorrect.
Okay.
Let's talk about faithless looting.
Yeah, let's talk about faithless looting.
That image, I looked at the artist's portfolio page, and I'm not gonna critique art, but it is not my style personally.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about the image I think we're talking about?
Yeah, we posted it earlier in the Sweaty Balls.
The MS Paint one, yeah.
Hold on. Let me look at this again, because I looked at it briefly and I was like, "Oh, that's cute." So wait, hold on. I'm about to get canceled. All right.
I'll put it up on the screen for everyone for some context.
Is that real?
I think this is real, and I think this is what they're actually gonna.
I thought
this was a joke.
I thought. Okay, let me digest this for a minute. Let me. Okay, faithless looting, new art, images. Okay, let me just. Okay.
Here is my comment.
What are you supposed to be, a clown or something?
All right, welcome. Hey!
I mean, okay, like, okay. Let's not focus on the negative, Jeff. Okay.
That's why I said what I said.
All right. So let me.
Okay, so here is why I wanted to talk about it. Hang on a second. Let me just post something to chat. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. I couldn't help it. So here's the thing, and I'm not here to shit on anyone else's art. I am myself an underground artist. I've been doing underground art for many years. Hence, you can see my brilliant profile picture with I-Wing in the background, which is a rockabilly piece that was on canvas and is done mostly out of crayon, believe it or not, that has been sprayed over. So I'm not one to sit here and critique somebody else's art, because really it is in the eye of the beholder. And an artist's vision is that of something sacred that I will not shit on.
Yeah.
In saying that, everyone thought I was going to be the nice guy. No, I am. The one thing I want to bring up with this particular piece of art is that it does not match the usual art that we see out of Magic the Gathering product.
So I'm going to stop you right there, and I'm going to say, that is what I was going to say. I will count that as a positive.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I honestly, okay. Here's. I don't want to interrupt you, so continue, and I'll go on with my thing after you're done.
Well, okay. So with all the changes that we've been seeing with the announcements of MTG Beyond, and we've discussed this at length, and the trials and tribulations that could bring, and the positives that may bring, this is the kind of piece I would expect out of not a set, but a secret lair, right?
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I believe that this is apparently in Strixhaven. I don't understand. Chocolate. Nom, 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 nom. Breaking me some chocolate. I don't understand why. Puts the chocolate in his mouth. So good. So good. And this is actually part of my analogy, by the way. Not just a bit. Well, it is a bit, but it's part of my analogy. I buy a block of chocolate. I understand what that chocolate is.
Mm-hmm.
Every square of that chocolate is probably what I want. This chocolate is delicious.
Can we keep that, Brandon? Can we keep the faithless looting up?
This one square of this chocolate is, for some reason, pineapple. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, keep going.
My only argument here is that this piece of art does not match the rest of the set. Now, I'm not saying that all art has to match, but this is so far removed from the rest of that set that I look at it and go, what am I looking at? The whole thing is about that center image, right? So my only quibble here is the fact that if you're going to make the art layered as you have, I do not understand why there is the image of what seems to be either an amazingly painted person or an actual photo of a person in this art, unless there's a story behind this that none of us fucking know, which I feel is probably the case. However, layering all that other art and stuff around makes the art extremely jarring to me, because I sit there going, well, why is this one piece in this art piece that is clearly a photo of a person that has been chucked into what is a very gorgeous layered painting? Take that out, and that is a really great piece of art. And that's not me shitting on the artist. That's me going, I don't understand where this concept came from and why this has been included in this set.
So, okay.
Also, this chocolate is delicious. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I can totally understand where you're going from. Where you're coming from, like, okay, this is like the odd one out, right? I get that. So let's take, and I pulled up Wikipedia for this, and luckily they have exactly what I was looking for: a list of MTG artists and a series of sets that they were artists in, right? So some of my favorite art comes from the Legends set and the Mirage.
I'll stop you right there for a second. Phil Foglio. Okay, you're welcome.
And the Mirage set, right? Mirage has a huge swath of artists, but to your point, if you pull out a card from Mirage, I mean, yeah, there's a few odd ones out, but it seems like it generally has the same vibe. With Legends, the art generally has the same vibe, but you know, the earlier you get in the Magic sets, the more kind of what's the word? The more diverse the art styles are.
Yes, but there's a good explanation for that, and that is because they didn't actually have artistic direction back then.
No, I'm not criticizing that at all. And I understand what the explanation is for that. What I'm trying to say is, but generally, even like, you know, as far back as Legends and Ice Age and things like that, there still was like the general kind of, in Homelands, you know, there was that general kind of vibe of the direction they were going with the art, right? The atmosphere, I guess you could call it. And I appreciated that, but still, you get like really bizarre stuff, but it still kind of fit into that atmosphere. So I think that's a valid criticism, saying that we have all this art that fits in, and then this, right? Like, that is total valid criticism. Is like, what? Why is this one card just going to be bizarre? And it is truly bizarre. The way it looks is bizarre, and I'm not saying that it is shit. I'm saying it's bizarre. You look at this in a series of Magic cards. I don't care who you are. This is bizarre. It doesn't fit in, and that's what I like about it. To be honest, like, exactly my criticism is that the exactly as you said, the person is like photorealistic, and everything else is like a cell it's like vectored. It's a vectored, hardline colored image, and I'm thinking, minus the flames in the back, but it's like the contrast is jarring, but it doesn't mesh well, because you can find things with a jarring contrast that you're like, whoa, and then you look at it for a second, you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense visually. This kind of looks especially with the dress portion, like it was slapped on. Like the way that they're holding that thing that they're holding, the goblet, it looks slapped on. I could see how, let's say they put like a stained glass motif or something, how it would be less jarring and feel like it would fit in with this cohesively with the image. But this kind of looks like it was like boom, like copy paste, like they dragged a JPEG over it, and that's what I'm seeing in my head every time I look at it. And again, I appreciate, and I love the fact that this is unique and it does stick out. However, maybe this was not the right call for this set, as you had said. Like, if we're gonna go like this, have that fit in with the atmosphere or the vibe or the aesthetic with the rest of the set, roughly speaking. Like, at least have it be cohesive in that manner, rather than just saying, okay, we got this really unique thing, let's just throw it out there. Like, I can see, like, let's just say there was a whole set with art like this. Fine, I'm sure a lot of people are gonna cry like little babies about it. Sure, whatever, I don't care. But as long as it fits in with the aesthetic of the set in a general sense, I would not complain at all. And I'm not complaining right now. My criticism of the art is the contrast is just super jarring with those two. My eye just keeps going back and forth between the goblet and the dress, and thinking, geez, why did they make that color contrast choice? And there's so much potential here. Am I mad about it? No. Do I like the image? I appreciate it. Do I think that they probably should have held off and waited till this would fit into a better set? Yeah. And that's my 12-minute rant. Sorry for going on so long.
Here's one of the other things that really, I think, triggers my senses on this particular, sorry to use that word, but on this particular art piece. Here's the thing that my brain says, I don't know what I'm looking at. And it's that hood. What is that hood connected to?
I can see that. I understand. Yeah. To me, I like that. See, I like that because, okay, here, this is exactly my point. The hood, okay, well, if you look at the image, the hood is connected to the cape behind it because it has that same pattern. Like, look behind her left arm. I guess it would be the right arm. The arm holding the goblet.
The goblet, yeah.
Yeah, look behind that. That is a cape. It's a cloak. Like, it's a hooded cloak. It's just not wrapped around, right? So you can tell that because it has the same kind of floral star pattern that's on the hood. So I'm like, okay, my mind connects that. But in contrast, you got this fucking cell shaded or vectored bowl that's just boom. And okay, everything else has some level of detail to it, like the window behind them, the clouds, the person themselves, the cloak. And yes, the eyes and the inside of the hood is pretty jarring, but I like that. And then you got this, like, it looks like a stock photo image. It looks like a fucking stock photo image that they just clicked and dragged into that hand. I'm sorry, but it does. And it does. Like, everything else, you're like, okay, I can see where you're going. This is pretty wild. This is pretty weird. And then it's just like, Getty Images search bull on fire, and then dragged. I'm just like, what is this? What am I looking at? Was this a logo you made for a company that you didn't use, and you just like put it into a PNG and just dragged it into the hand?
Liliana's
so wait, first of all, if you go check out their portfolio, they have a lot of images like this, and I think what it is they are photorealistic pictures that are taken and then converted using a filter or something like that. And what it does is they have these ultra realistic human looking characters, trying to be vague here for the sake of art. And what they do is then they paint on top of them, but they don't provide the same level of detail that exists for their characters. So it, to me, looks it's different enough to me that I have a personal issue with it as someone who does a lot of photo manipulation, Photoshop stuff, and whatnot, right? Because I want to either A, decrease the quality of the character to match the quality of the rest of the art to make it, cohesive, or I want to increase the rest of the art that I'm doing to match the character, right? In this case, it's like they had the image and they decided to use more solid colors with a little bit of like inner shading a little bit. But to me, it's very, as Chesh said, jarring, because all I want to do is fix it.
Yeah, well, yeah. And this is the problem with me being an artist, is like my brain is just like, but you can fix it. You can fix this. And I'm like, but there's nothing that needs to be fixed. And brain is like, you're an artist. You know how to fix it. Fix it. It's a weird thing that just trips my brain into like a weird fixie mode, and I don't understand.
The more I look at this image, the more I understand what I have wrong with it, and I keep coming back to that goblet, that bowl. Even the dress is fine. I think if you maybe because I'm fine with the pouring bowl. Like I'm like, my brain goes from the top left-hand corner, scrolls all the way around to the right, and then to the bowl that's pouring, and I'm thinking, okay, and then I go to the left, I see the hood and the person. All right, I see where we're going here. And then the dress, I'm like, and then the bowl. That bowl, to me, is like, she might as well be holding Peter Griffin from Family Guy. That's what I see when I look at that bowl. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, you couldn't. Geez, like, everything kind of made sense up until this. That was just too much. It's too much all at once. You know what I mean? Because the red makes sense, but then you have this orange vectored flame with the vectored bowl. The vectored bowl even makes it. It's just that fucking. It just makes it look like a Family Guy character.
And do you want to know why? Do you want to know why that's happening? Because there's nothing behind the bowl to take your attention. There's nothing to disperse your eye.
No, there is. There's that cloud. There's a cloud in the stained glass.
It's a perspective thing.
It's not how it works. So the stuff on the right-hand side of the image with the pouring, you have all that like the stained glass stuff in the background. So that kind of tricks your brain into thinking that's a full panel. So you don't notice like, errors or issues with that as much. Your brain doesn't pick up and say, this doesn't look right to me. Mm-hmm. However, the steaming red hot bowl, which is supposed to be either fire or steam, who knows? Your brain then looks at that and goes, look at this orange contrast with nothing behind it. It doesn't see the cloud. Your brain, you see it with your eyes. Yeah. Your brain does not see that cloud at all. What your brain is seeing is a blank back wall with those really like vibrant orange heat lines, I guess, popping out at you, which then focuses downwards onto the bowl and into the hand, because the hand color and the color of the flames trap the bowl in the middle. And that's why your brain automatically will shoot to the bowl, and your brain will go, nah, don't like that. Because your brain is going, I don't understand what's going on. I can't comprehend why there's a physical hand with a flat image bowl there.
Yeah.
And it's complete and utter mindfuck from how your mind processes imagery, because you've got to remember we are humans, and humans process most things through image, not actually through any other medium. No matter how many times people will try and say to you, where we rely on oral, like we don't. Well, I do. How you doing? But we don't. We actually rely on all of our senses, but the main sense that we do rely on for a large portion is sight, because we can see before we can talk.
Yep. And
that's what I mean, is that perspective difference is
most
being
people,
flat.
Most people
is
can
just...
see before they can talk. But,
and the other thing that Brandon's mentioning there, and just to elaborate on that as well, is that when you're talking about perspective, because the bowl is flat and the hand is not, the bowl doesn't have a perspective layer to it. It has a flat layer. So it sits in behind the hand. It actually looks like it sits very far behind the hand.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have shadowing or anything like that.
Exactly.
Now, this is a trick that I actually use with a lot of my paintings, right? They're flat. I don't include any shadowing because number one, I'm lazy and I hate shadowing because it just takes time to get shadowing correct. But number two, I would prefer somebody go, I hate this because it doesn't have any layers to it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't include layers in an image, the mind automatically hates it. Just hates it. This has layers, but because those layers are mixed, your mind looks at the bowl and goes, the fuck is that? It has no top to it. It has no rim. It has no shadowing on the side. It has no concave perspective to it. So your brain just automatically goes, what am I looking at? I don't understand. Why is this clip art?
So let me interject here and just say kudos to the artist. It looks like Carly Mazur. I'm looking at kudos to the artist for sparking. Like, honestly, I've been very ambivalent about MTG art for a long time because it seems very homogenous lately. Just kind of I mean, obviously, no disrespect to the artists that are doing current Magic art. They're fantastic. The art is unbelievable. Yada, 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 yada. You know, all the glory, all God's glory to those artists. However, the art direction has been samey. So the fact that we're actually sitting down and having a conversation about card art right now is pretty great, I think. So I'm gonna give mad props to the artist and the people who decided to publish this, because I think it's awesome to look at a Magic card. This is refreshing, actually, to look at a Magic card and be like, wow, that's bizarre. Let's talk about it, because this is kind of what got me into Magic in the first place. You know what I mean? It was the art and the aesthetic, and having those seeing that wild shit and be like, whoa, that's bizarre. Because let's be honest, there's a lot of bad Magic art. I mean, when I say bad, I don't mean to disparage the artist. What I'm saying is there's a lot of like really kind of like, oh man, first generation D&D, like super dorky stuff in there. And trust me, one of my favorite card arts is one of those. Sheldon Warlord, all right? So don't fucking throw shade at me for saying that. I love it. I personally love it. But let's be real. And it's great to see something modern that's making me go, oh man, this is what? So I'm actually enjoying it. You know what I mean? Like this is.
Well, look, that's a point that I want to bring up as well. This is not us trashing the art. This is us critically discussing the art as should be done with all art.
Yeah.
And it's not about bringing the art down. It's about discussing the things that are and aren't, eye-catching with a piece of art. Not everyone is going to like the art, and that's fine. The thing that we're discussing here is how different this art is compared to the rest of the set.
Yeah.
This piece of art obviously is doing what it is intended to do, as art is generally speaking intended to do.
Yes.
the idea of art is for discussion. And the amount of times that I've tried to explain this to people and they haven't gotten it, it's like, what are you talking about? It's like, if you come across a piece of art that affects you in some way, in enough of a way that you wish to discuss that art with your friends and people around you, that piece of art is doing what it is intended to do.
100%. I'm so glad you're on board with me on this.
I'm a fucking artist. So.
Yeah, hey, I love art. Would I call myself an artist? No. Have I attempted art? Absolutely.
And it's one of those things of like, I've been to some high level. I've actually been that was years ago. I've actually been a part of some high level art shows. Thinking about it, like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh, that's awkward. I've been to those art shows where you have like, and I'm gonna say the snooty asshole, like, who's just like, oh, I don't understand this piece. And I've watched the like, quote unquote, common folk. There's a big disparity between the rich and the poor still that we're not going to get into, but I could tell you a whole story about this, where somebody had explained to this person, like, no, actually what you're looking at is different to what you're actually perceiving, because the thing that you're looking at and trying to describe is not what your brain is actually seeing, which is why you're having a problem trying to talk about this piece of art with people. Because they were trying to spark up a conversation with the people around them, just like, you're a fucking idiot. Because this person didn't really understand. Like, if you've got that much money that you're just blowing money on fucking art left, right, and center, good for you. Why are you buying it, though? And this person was one of those where he was just like, I'd seen him around the traps for years. I knew what he was buying. And yes, there is a person like that. That you can absolutely see at any art show, and they're the people that stand directly in front of the piece of art, like way too close, and you go, you don't even know what you're doing. Like, take a fucking couple of steps back, my dude. Like, just step back and have a look at the whole picture instead of like, it's the whole thing. But having to explain to another person like what they should be looking at is one of those things that's going to happen. But us having this discussion where we're like, hey, look at this thing like in another way is like exactly what should be happening with art.
Like, actually look at and that's what I appreciate about the fact that we're having this discussion is enough for me to say this is a good piece of art. And and again, I to preface, I'm in no way disparaging the talents of the Magic artists of late, but maybe I'm more criticizing the art direction, what they tell these artists to paint, because yes, they're extremely talented, but it's been so long since I've seen a card and thought, wow, that is horrific, or just this is so out of place, or just actually wanted to have a discussion about it. You know what I mean?
Funny, it's funny you say that, because I think that Magic has an inherent problem, stretching back many years now. Started when they started kicking out some of the quote unquote comic-y art, like Foglio and his wife.
I love Foglio.
Absolutely great artist. I get where they were coming from, but at the same time, I think that having offshoots of the art in the main set is a great idea, to have something that's refreshing and not always the same.
Yes.
And I dig what you're saying, and basically what you're laying out for the people is that in a world full of O's, this is an I, right? They all come from the same subset, but this one is drastically different. It is not an O. It is not a circle round shape. It is straight up and down an I. It's completely different to everything else, which is refreshing, but at the same time, absolutely jarring.
Yeah, and by no means, like I said earlier, by no means do I ever want to tell someone else's art is shit, right? That's why I said it's different, and to me, that's fine. I don't think different is a bad thing. I think
except you, Andy Warhol.
And that being said,
Warhol wasn't an artist, and I will absolutely fight anyone who brings that up.
I love the fact that they're taking the risk. That is what I like about it, is that it's not about, oh, what does everyone like? It's about, we're taking the risk to put it out there, and it doesn't matter what people like, they're going to push it anyways. And I can appreciate that because
It's funny
art's
that
changing constantly, and whether it evolves or devolves in someone else's mind or eyes is up to them, right? But if no one ever sees it, then it's hard to say that it ever, meant anything or existed or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a really long, complicated topic about that shit. But anyways, with that being said, having this out there is really nice because it gives an avenue for people to play with or to find what is or isn't, a potential.
Yeah. It's funny that you should bring that up because that was going to be the next comment I was about to make. The problem that I have with Magic the Gathering art as it stands at the moment is when you have a full stable of fantastic artists, and I've met some of these artists, and there's even an Australian/New Zealand artist that actually lives here in Melbourne who have had very good chats with, and we've actually hung out and done some art projects together, which is really cool. One of the things that I wanted to point out is that when Magic gets to a point of safeness, right? Safeness. That's when I start looking at it and going, what exactly are you doing, Wizards? Because it's great when Wizards say we've got a one-track plan when it comes to the art. Every artist gets a briefing on the art. We try and get the art to, match the feel of the set. And while that's all great and all the artists are amazing, I feel like there's a certain safety there because they know that all of those artists do very similar work. Not the same. There's heaps of differences to the trained eye. To the untrained eye, probably a couple of differences, maybe not so much. But my big problem with Magic art as it is at the moment is that it does feel a bit stale,
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can hear. Yep.
Okay. Wow. I just dropped out.
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt. It literally just cut out. I couldn't hear you. You couldn't hear me. I apologize. I have no idea what happened.
That's fine. And as you were bringing up before about the safe art thing is what I'm explaining now.
Got you.
Is that when you bring across a whole heap of artists that you've worked with day in and day out, like Wizards have, they have their stable. And when these art pieces start feeling very samey, again, subtle differences between the art, but everyone's trying to match like a certain aesthetic, and I get it. But when that starts happening, art starts becoming pretty fucking stale, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's why we look at Secret Lairs, and Secret Lairs have some of the coolest art.
Yes.
Now, don't get this confused with awesome fucking collector's art, okay? We're talking like the new collector's art in Strixhaven, right? The very awesome looking alternate art stuff. That is fantastic and not what the main set looks like. Who the fuck knows why? Because Wizards, they could be in the main set, okay? Your new, I think it was Ponder or Preordain or whatever it was. That art on the alt art version could just be in the main set version, and no one would care. To the point where everyone would be happy because there's something awesome and different and unique. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy that it's going to be rarer and it's going to be harder to get because it means that people like me are going to be able to make money out of them when we buy our collector booster box that we need to crack on a channel and then try and sell the contents off so that we can make some of the money back so we don't feel so bad about spending $340 to $400 fucking Australian on a box.
Well, I mean,
but
the thing is, yeah, exactly. Like, okay, for example, it's like we got our to your credit, it's like we have very incredible, talented artists in the Magic scene, like Jason Felix, right? Like, Jason Felix is an incredibly talented artist, but if you have an entire set that's just like, just be like Jason Felix, you know what I mean? And it's like, and then everything, of course, is going to look beautiful and gorgeous and cranked up to 11 and otherworldly and everything. It's gonna look great, but at the same time, if your whole set is like that, then nothing is like it. You know what I mean?
Yes. And so it's like eating a whole block of chocolate, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Your first row, fantastic. Your second row, I'm digging it. Your third row, maybe I should stop. Your fourth row, I just ate an entire block of chocolate and now I feel worse.
Yeah.
And that is the problem with magic art, because if everything is dialed up to 11 and everything looks like, you know, a gorgeous piece of art from the National Art Gallery, that's a fucking problem. That is a big fucking problem, because it means that all of those awesome pieces of art that we should be fornicating over, we're looking at it and we're going, yeah, it's fine. Because everything in the set looks good.
Exactly.
It's about like the shock and awe diversity, right?
And you got it, and you have to have those outliers that are bizarre. You know, you have to have that diversity in the way that you know, like, what the fuck is balance? You know, like, or like, you know, it's like you have to have those things that make you go, oh, okay. You know, like, it's not just there's more to this, right? There's more behind it. It piques your curiosity, not just because of that one card, but you gotta have a few. You gotta have a few that say, okay, this is more than just one statement. There's a lot behind this, and maybe you should dig deeper. That's what I saw when I got into Magic art through the art. Is like, you know, you get those cool, it was more gruesome back then. I think you get those, like, really, especially the black cards. The old black cards were pretty edgy when it comes to, like, the gore and, like, the horror aspect.
Terror.
Yeah, and you're like, you look at that and you're like, oh my god. And then you get the blue cards and the white cards, and they all have this sort of grim aspect to them, like the aesthetic, the vibe, the atmosphere. But still, then you have some red cards, and there's like a goblin with a huge, comically large drill, like, into a mountain, and you're just like, what?
Goblin flutters.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, what is this?
Earthbind.
Yeah,
yeah.
Oh boy. And it's funny. It's just funny. It's fun to look at. It's fun to look at. You have to have a breath of fresh air every once in a while, and I think this is a great breath of fresh air. So I really appreciate this being here. And I know for a fact there's going to be I could just search on Google right now. There's probably 1,000 videos right now from reactionary channels just shitting all over the thing to get clicks and views, and I'm really glad I'm with a group of people that we could have a constructive conversation about this, rather than just being like, oh, this looks like the bad, I don't like it. You know, like, it's that's really all they have to say. I'm serious. It's fucking bullshit. Like,
I was talking about what I just said.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I missed that portion of the conversation. So sorry if I'm reiterating your point here, but I feel the same way. I think we all do. But, like, if you have a video out right now that has, like, I can't believe how stupid this looks, and with the like emojis and fucking clip art all over the shit, fuck you. Go fuck yourself. You're not. You don't belong here. I mean that I will die on this fucking hill. Go drink a gallon of milk. I don't know what I was trying to sound threatening without breaking TOS. Yeah, nice. I like your altar there.
Yeah, your altar is banging.
Yeah. You throw that up throw that up, Brandon. Please. Okay. I appreciate you. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So thanks for saying this in the chat. We are about an hour into our episode, and I think we should wrap it up. Thank you for those who stopped by and listened to us rant about. I think not even rant. I think we had a really good constructive conversation here. I'm pretty proud of this episode, actually. Thanks for all those who stopped by and tolerated the lack of
meat pie
cameras, the lack of meat pies as well. There is very little meat pies on this episode, but I'm actually pretty stoked. I'm actually pretty stoked about this episode. I hope you guys feel the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a talk show, so I mean, I hope people are here to listen to us more than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the whole thing. It's like we are here to discuss Magic the Gathering, and we are here to discuss other things. And this is obviously one of the hot topics we wanted to touch, because I personally saw a couple of content creators here in Australia and a store shitting on this piece of art, going, I thought this was a joke. And I was like, yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. But at the same time, it comes back to, we should all respect artists, number one, because a lot of them don't get paid as much as you think they would. They are trying their goddamn best. But number two, it might look like shit to you, but it doesn't look like shit to everyone, because everyone is different. So maybe before you make your shitty little comment, shut your mouth, think about it, and just don't.
Yeah, no one says that you have to buy this, right? No one says that you have to like it. No one says that you have to play it. This is purely for those who want it. And just because you don't want it doesn't mean that somebody else does or doesn't appreciate it. And that being said, let it go.
Yep.
Let it go. Shout out to Ford here, who is not convinced we exist because we do not have face cams.
Correct. I am a meat school.
There is an idea of it, Jeff. There is no real me.
He is Johnny number. Can't say 2. He's Johnny number 2.
Number 5 is alive.
Number 5 is alive.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so
thank you very much, everyone who's listened to us. I know we just kind of rant and hang out in the background, and if you're lurking or have us up in the background just for the lulz, thank you. And
serious. Yeah.
We will be going live tomorrow. And just for fun, because
just to be clear, MTGLexicon is going live tomorrow. I don't know if are you guys going live, Chesh, Commander Crunch?
I mean, I wouldn't say live, no. We are doing a podcast tomorrow, but we don't do it live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be recording a podcast with Mr. Yes. Go ahead. Sorry, Brandon.
Yeah, no, I've reached out a couple content creators. I've talked to the Commander Crunch about it as well, but we're looking to see if we can do a 2-headed giant Commander series, and do that live and have some fun with that. So hopefully look for that in the next couple of months if we find a great way to do this or make it happen.
Somebody reached out to me about that?
We've talked about it, you, me, and Sam previously. I don't know if you remember.
I don't remember.
Okay, well,
I'm so old I barely remember my name.
So now that we're done plugging ourselves, can you spoil the guests that you're going to be having on, Josh?
I don't know who we're having on. That's Sam's business.
Oh, okay, all right. Hey, you may. Yeah.
I honestly should remember, and I look, to be honest, I've had a week, and it's not been the most comfortable week because we're in crunch time at work, which means I've been working the whole weekend, out of my own pocket because I want stuff off my plate, and I might be buying time so I can look back through to see if Sam actually told me who it was, because we were discussing that we've got like such a backlog. Oh, is it? Oh, it could be. Wait a second. Hang on. Is it Nick? Are we having Nick on?
Are you having Nick on?
G3? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh shit!
I think. Hang on. Blah 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 blah. No, going for a stroll. That's not it. Oh man.
Well, if you do have Nick on, please convey my utter contempt for his existence.
Nick is on for one of the next few weeks.
We're talking about G3. We're not talking about Nick S, are we?
Nick S is on in a few weeks.
Nope. Well, if you have G3 on, just shit on him constantly. Do not relent.
Yes, actually, it will be G3 tomorrow.
Yes, let him know that I hate the fact that he is alive. I'm sorry. I love Nick. Don't get it twisted. I love Nick.
Wow.
That's our dynamic.
You mean your dynamic?
Hey, he's receptive. I'm just a pitcher, okay?
All right. Well, I think that's it for us. Thank you very much, everyone. We will hope to see you next week. I will be at my regular machine, so this will get back to normal unless you like it. And and also I think we can have guests here too. I don't know how that's going to work out, but I like what we're doing now. And
we'll rank sandwiches.
and we'll make sure that Chesh gets his meat pie. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. We are signing off.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.